Hey, what's going on? It's Will Neff with Neff Family Financial. This is my first time out the house since the twins came. For anybody that doesn't know, we had twins due, and they were born last Tuesday. Spent a few days in the hospital. Got home Thursday, and I swear I napped. Uh, that's all I've really done is catch naps. Anybody that's been through parenting understands it. But twins, I don't know. I don't know. But then I was ready. I can't say that. We've got four other kids. I've always done the, off and on. I share the duties at night with my wife during feedings and changings and everything else. But it's different. When from the hospital to home on this round, it was like she's needed help every time. Any mother, anybody that gives birth, like they need help. But uh, man, it was something was totally different. When I had when the boys came, it was like within hours of being once we got settled and was in her recovery room or whatever the room that mom's in after the babies come and they're done checking their vitals. Uh, I knew two things right then that um, thankfully what I do for a living allows me to make changes sort of on the fly. As far as somebody that's restricted to working in an office or working outdoors, whether it's in this industry or not. But I knew that overnight, once I got home, um, I had to become 100% work from home dad to be able to help her. She can't drive for 2 weeks. So I'm responsible for everything else. Just the regular day stuff that she was doing, but how much help she needs, so it's like, even if I'm starving for a wink, uh, I'm doing everything I can to make sure if I catch her on the verge of napping, if she falls asleep, if she catches 5 minutes, 25 minutes, an hour, whatever, I'm trying to absorb as much of, the home life and taking care of everything that I can, um, mostly so that she can rest and heal. She's, you know, feeding the babies, but excuse me, uh, helping with bottles and, making sure, everything's set up, all of her supplies are where she needs them. We've got changing stations. I ain't never had more than one station. We have stations. We have, one in the bedroom on the baby stuff. We've got the changing station downstairs in the living room. It's adorable. My 4-year-old, she's got a little stool next to it. She stands guard when anybody changes one of the boys. Make sure you've got all your stuff, your ducks are in a row. You are, doing what you're supposed to. That you got the right diaper and the wipes, and they're covered from the wipe warmer. And yeah, she will let you know if you're stepping out of line. I'll tell you what. And then we got a random changing station just in our hallway upstairs, in between all the other kids' bedrooms, in case somebody needs. There's an emergency, I guess. Um, One of my sons did have to deal with a blowout yesterday. That was pretty funny. By the time I realized what was going on, it was too late to help him. He had to figure life out all by himself, which was pretty amazing. But yeah, the changing on the fly. I've been selling final expense for over a decade at this point, and I was always a field guy. Then when telesales became available at one of the companies I was at, I did it. I understand. To me, I just used it as a tool. And then more and more, I realized I wanted to be able to operate in that space permanently. Um, but there was still, I just enjoyed being in the field, or at least that's what I told myself. I hate it when I'm out, especially when I'm driving far away from home. That 2-hour trip when you're working fields and working in the field in the middle of nowhere. Uh, it just gets exhausting. I don't mind the drive. But I've got kids. I had a lot going on. Uh, and you can make if you get good at this. In the beginning, I was using every hour I was available to me outside of the house, to grind and knock doors and see people and beatbacks and everything else that happens in this industry. But you get good, you get better on your presentation, your approach, just getting understanding what these clients are dealing with. These get better just like any other job you're doing, so you can realistically make a good living in an 8, 10, 12-hour day. Honestly, you're going to work a few long days, but you don't have to do this 65, 78 hours a week for the long haul and still make a good living. With your commissions, your residuals, everything that comes with it. The longer you do this, but I told myself I knew that I wanted to be somewhere where telesales was 100% viable for myself and anybody else. And just over the last year, I've kind of hemhauled, I guess, call it, reluctance or just, I know what I know. I know field sales in and out. It's what built my career. I'm not afraid to get on the phones. Whether it's, like, I don't want to be at home. I do want to be at home, but I would tell myself, it's hard. There's this, there's that. These were just excuses because I knew it was easier. I knew there was no unknowns for me. But I did it during COVID, and for a little while after that, I've been home. We had our youngest daughter we had well after COVID. I spent time at home, made calls. It's that familiarity, I guess. Familiarity. My comfort zone. And one of the biggest things I learned as an entrepreneur years ago, in any business I've started, is you've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? But I found this comfort zone, and I don't know why I just didn't, I didn't put those pieces together. I was comfortable doing it this way. I was never afraid to grow. I've learned different types of technology, different things to help with promoting and assisting. And I remember the company I worked for when we transitioned from paper apps to having an app on our iPad. I loved it. It was great. I remember hearing guys that weren't much older than me that had been in the business longer, all these clients are never going to sign on an iPad. And I'm like, if you don't know what we do, if you're new to hearing me, final expense is life insurance for seniors. Most of my clients are, over the age of 55, predominantly over probably the age of 65. But, I've been in countless homes where these people have home health aides. And the home health aides had already had iPads or some sort of electronic device, their phone, something, where my clients were signing off when they were off the clock, when these people were leaving their house. They go to grocery stores, you got to sign the pad. It's not that crazy, These people will tell you they don't understand technology, don't know their email address, but they replace their debit card every 60 days because of Temu and different shopping apps, stuff they've signed up for and they forgot how to cancel. So it was there, but some people are afraid of technology. That was never really my issue. I was comfortable doing it one way, and I knew that telesales 100% is the way that I wanted to go. Hell, when I built my house, I set my office up just so I had the ability to just run and go. But I did not, I didn't make the leap, like not right away. And I didn't do it the way that I wanted to, but babies, changing the family dynamic really has a way of, I guess, putting things into perspective. I know I've always wanted to be home. I've wanted to be able to do this from my house, if not leave the house. I still got to get dressed. I put on a polo to go grocery shopping. I just left Aldi. If I sit down on the phones and shorts and a t-shirt, I don't feel like I'm ready for the workday. So yeah, I have to dress. I have to, put on an outfit just like I was going to see a client. Just so I get in the mindset. I know some people don't necessarily have to worry about that, but definitely I do. I came from a world before I was in final expense where I wore a suit every day. So even just wearing a polo and nice pants was foreign to me for a long time. So, but yeah, I've got to dress like I'm going out to work. in order to be in the mindset when I'm at home. And it was always, I got to run. I got to see these clients. I got to go see these people. I got a few people I got to help. I can help them. I can call them. They'll talk to me over the phone. These people that have been your clients for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, they're going to deal with me over the phone. You know what I mean? And I don't mind the drive. So if I've got to, make a few appointments, 1 or 2 days a month where I run and see 3 or 4 people at a time to help them fix this or fix that or set this up or just evaluate their policy or, help them with whatever, I'm still going to do that, but that'll probably feel almost like a vacation, day, where you're not working at all because, I like to meet people. I like to interact. I want them to know me. I want them to know that I'm there when things go bad. I want as many of my clients' families to know who to call, what we do for them, when the time comes, when they got to file a claim, how to help them, how to walk them through. I'll meet them at the funeral home. I'll help them make the plans if I got to, but my family's why I do this. Most people, that's the thing, when they get into a career like this, I've said it a lot of times. I don't know a whole lot of people that have woke up even as early as high school, right? Or really any time and thought, I'm going to sell life insurance. That sounds, it's not sexy. The industry itself, it gets a bad rap, but insurance is needed. All the different products that exist in the insurance industry are there for a reason. Unfortunately, life insurance is just one that a lot of people put off for too long. Because they're worried about the expense. What the amount of coverage you can get for $40 in your 20s. Really, if you wait until your 60s, isn't even enough to put you in the ground and pay a few bills. But again, I'm getting off topic. That the boys were born. Dominic and Xavier, by the way. And it was like everything changed. Not in a bad way. It was just almost like it brought some clarity to me on the way I've been operating. I didn't really even know that I didn't have it, honestly. But, for being able to be there, and not miss a ton of those first moments. My daughter, my youngest is getting ready to go into gymnastics. My other daughter, was in gymnastics. She plays soccer, does some cheerleading. The boys, they between band and choir and baseball and soccer and football, being in the field and driving, an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours out, and then back. I got to pick my battles sometimes. I try to make it to as many things as I can. And me and my wife have always split. You're going to do this, I'll do that, so I'll come home early. Well, if I'm just working from home, I don't have to cut out early. I can structure my day. Like every day I'm not going to be on the phone. You're not going to be on the phone from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., even if you're trying to work, all day long. There's always going to be that downtime where you're doing this, you're doing that. I got to get a snack in, help with this, help with that. But yeah, it's wild. I remember having my first son, and you don't know what you don't know. And then it's like on the way home from the hospital, I remember, people in other cars, like they're just going about their normal day. This is their normal life. Everything changed for me 3 days ago. Before I went to the hospital, we didn't have a kid. So life was exactly how it was up until that moment. Just because she was pregnant, nothing had really changed. She was just pregnant now. But then, maybe 2, 3, and 4, it was just sort of a recycled thing. But the twins, man, they ain't even, like, tomorrow they'll be a week. And it changes everything up. The doctor's appointments in the beginning, she can't drive. Kids got stuff going on after school. I'm the only one that can get them there. And yeah, we got family. I got people that can help, but at the same time, like it's a matter of, I don't have to, I don't have a second shift job where it's the only place I can get employment. The only way that we can survive is by me having this job. So I have to miss everything. And oh, by the way, she can't drive for 2 weeks, and my employer would only give me 3 days off, or even a week, but most of that was spent at the hospital. So we get home and, I don't have all that. I can call the shots. I can decide when I do and don't work, what does and doesn't work for me. So my pushing a little, pushing this here, cutting this time back there. Nothing changes. I'm still building an agency. I'm still growing my company. I'm still dealing with clients. I'm still writing final expense policies. Uh, I wish I was comfortable doing it in, flip flops and shorts. I'm just not there yet. Maybe one day I will be. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's wild. I was coming home from the hospital with the twins in the back, and I kind of had that same feeling. It was like, we're sitting at a red light almost home, and I'm like, all these people are just going about their daily lives. And, it was Thursday. We came home and went into the hospital Tuesday morning. Like, yeah, literally, like just Monday, my life was as expected. Everything was the same. There was no changes where everything went into disarray and chaos. I thrive in chaos, so this is amazing for me. But it's just weird to literally be in that exact moment, to be sitting there thinking like nothing, everything, life goes on for all these other people. And when you go that, when I feel like when you go to the hospital to deliver, everything's on pause for you for a second. And then when you get home, everything comes back in an instant. But now you've got everything else. Now you got two more kids. You got diapers. You got feedings. You got to time everything around all of that. So yeah, I don't know. Just guess I just needed to throw that out there. It was it's great. Mama Bear's doing great. The boys are awesome. All the kids are stepping up. It's I don't even really know if stepping up's the word. It's not like they got to push or had to. Yeah, they love the twins. Yeah, I almost have to. The fights aren't to help. It's almost there's only two babies and there's four of them. I want to hold them. I want to feed them. My 4-year-old wants to touch them every time they're asleep. My favorite girl, just let them. When you see the eyes closed, leave them be for a second. You can look at them. You don't have to boot the snoot, but she does. It's adorable. Yeah, this dad thing is wild. Always has been, but 6 kids is crazy. Yeah, I'd never say I wouldn't recommend it because I'd be lying to you if she told me in 6 months she wanted more. I wouldn't be on board. But yeah, everything's the same, but everything changed, and yeah, like I said, put it in perspective. I'll be making some major adjustments. Not really adjustments. Nothing. I'm not going to be making. The decision pretty much made when the boys showed up. The only way that I can realistically have the life with my family that I want, that I've done everything to build, is to do this from home. So yeah. Thanks for listening. I guess if you made it this far, I'll be back with some updates on the twins. Hopefully here soon.